Your mind is where the real fight happens. Before you even step out of bed, before you check your phone, before you face the world, there's a battle going on in your thoughts. Will you wake up with doubt, fear, and insecurity, or will you stand firm knowing that you have been called, chosen, and equipped for this very moment? The enemy wants to plant seeds of confusion, discouragement, and defeat in your mind before your feet even hit the floor. But you have the power to reject those lies and speak life over yourself. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the master of them. If the mind is the battleground, then your thoughts are the weapons. What are you arming yourself with? Are you meditating on what could go wrong, or are you focusing on what God has promised? Too many people lose the fight before they even step into the ring because they have already convinced themselves they can't win. But I came to tell you, change your mind and you'll change your life. Speak power, speak victory, speak breakthrough, because as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Some of you are letting your past dictate your present because your mind is stuck in a place God already delivered you from. You are still replaying old mistakes, still carrying old wounds, still believing old lies. But the truth is, you are not who you used to be. Your past is a chapter, not the whole book. Stop allowing the weight of what was to hold you back from what can be. You are stepping into a new season, and you can't afford to take an old mindset with you. You can't win a battle with weak thoughts. Every morning you have to suit up. Put on the mindset of a warrior, not a worrier. A conqueror, not a complainer. You are not at the mercy of life. Life is at the mercy of your mindset. When you shift the way you think, you shift the way you move. When you shift the way you move, you shift the way you win. And when you start winning in your mind, it won't be long before you start winning in every area of your life. This is the season where you take authority over your thoughts. No more negative cycles, no more self-doubt, no more being controlled by fear. You were not created to live in mental bondage. You were made to walk in power, in purpose, in confidence. The battle may be raging, but victory is already yours. It's time to rise up and take hold of it. Before your feet hit the floor, before you check your phone, before you step out into the noise of the world, you have to take authority over your day. You don't just wake up and wait to see what happens. No, you wake up and command your morning. You tell the day how it's going to go. You speak life into your atmosphere. You declare that favor surrounds you, that peace covers you, that doors will open for you. Because if you don't set the tone, life will try to set it for you, and you cannot afford to let circumstances dictate your destiny. Too many people walk into their day unarmed, unprepared, and unaware of the power they have. They wake up reactive instead of proactive, just waiting to see what problems will come their way. But let me tell you something. When you wake up with the mindset of a champion, when you step into the morning knowing that you are chosen, equipped, and covered by grace, you are already walking in victory before the battle even starts. What you say in the morning sets the direction for your whole day. If you speak doubt, you will live in doubt. If you speak negativity, you will attract negativity. But if you speak faith, if you declare breakthrough, if you claim the promises of God, then no matter what comes against you, you will not be shaken. Because you have already decided before the trouble, before the test, before the challenge, that you are more than a conqueror. You can't afford to let life push you around. You have to stand up in the spirit and push back. This is the day that the Lord has made, and you will rejoice in it. You will not live in fear. You will not walk in defeat. You will not be a prisoner to your emotions. You are stepping into today with boldness, with power, with a sound mind. Everything that is assigned to you, peace, joy, favor, increase, is already on the way. So rise up and declare it. Declare that your steps are ordered. Declare that wisdom flows through you. Declare that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You don't have to wait for a good day. You can command your morning, and the day has no choice but to line up with what you have spoken. Pressure will always be there. Life will try to weigh you down with expectations, deadlines, opinions, and obstacles. But pressure is not your purpose. Pressure will make you feel like you have to be everything for everybody, like you have to move faster, push harder, and carry more than you were ever meant to carry. But purpose says, be still and know that I am God. Purpose says, you don't have to prove yourself, just walk in what I've called you to do. If you let pressure drive you, you will always feel behind. But when purpose drives you, you will always be exactly where you need to be. Fear comes with pressure, but faith comes with purpose. Pressure says, what if you fail? Purpose says, what if you succeed? Pressure says, you're not enough. Purpose says, you were chosen for this. Pressure will have you looking at everybody else, comparing yourself, feeling inadequate, but purpose reminds you that your lane is yours alone. Nobody else can walk it the way you can. You don't have to compete. You don't have to impress. You just have to stay faithful. Because when you focus on purpose, success is not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. Distraction is the enemy of destiny. Pressure will pull you in every direction, trying to get you to chase after things that were never meant for you. But when you know your purpose, you don't waste time running after things that don't align with your calling. You don't say yes to every opportunity. You don't entertain every opinion. You don't let every setback shake you. Purpose gives you focus. Purpose gives you clarity. Purpose gives you peace in the middle of the storm because you know who you are and what you are here to do. Don't let pressure push you out of position. Sometimes the pressure is a test to see if you will break or if you will stand firm, to see if you will trust God when it doesn't make sense, to see if you will keep going when it feels like nothing is working. But hear me when I say this. Purpose always wins. Pressure may be loud, but purpose is steady. Pressure may bring doubt, but purpose brings conviction. If you stay committed to what you were called to do, no amount of pressure can stop what God has already set in motion. So breathe, release the pressure. Stop trying to control what is not yours to control. Your purpose is already written. Your steps are already ordered. Your victory is already secured. Let go of the pressure and walk boldly in the purpose that was designed just for you. Yesterday is over. The mistakes, the failures, the missed opportunities, they are done. But too many people are living today like they are still trapped in yesterday. They wake up carrying the weight of old regrets, replaying conversations that can't be changed, holding on to pain that should have been left at the cross. But hear me, you cannot drive forward while staring in the rearview mirror. If you don't let go of what was, you will never step into what is. The enemy wants to keep you locked in your past because he knows if you ever embrace your present, you will walk into your future with power. He whispers lies telling you that you'll always be the same, that you'll never get it right, that you're still defined by what you did back then. But I came to tell you, that is not who you are anymore. You are not your failure. You are not your past. You are not what they said about you. You are who God says you are, and he says you are. Every morning you have a choice. Will you let yesterday's pain dictate today's joy? Will you let yesterday's disappointment steal today's hope? You can't change what happened, but you can change how you respond to it. You can choose to be bitter, or you can choose to be better. You can choose to dwell on what's gone, or you can choose to reach for what's ahead. Your destiny is not behind you. It is in front of you, waiting for you to release the past and take hold of the future. Some of you have been asking God for a new season, but he is waiting for you to release the old one. You want new doors to open, but you're still standing in the hallway, knocking on the doors he already closed. Let it go. What God has for you is bigger, better, and greater than anything you lost. But you will never experience it if you're still holding on to yesterday. The longer you hold on to the past, the longer you delay your breakthrough. This is a new day, a fresh start. New mercies are waiting for you, but you have to receive them. Stop punishing yourself for what God has already forgiven. Stop rehearsing old battles that have already been won. Stop giving your past the power to define your present. You are free. You are redeemed. You are stepping into a season of joy, peace, and restoration. But you can't take hold of it if your hands are still full of yesterday. Release it and walk boldly into what's next. Your circle is shaping you whether you realize it or not. The people you allow into your space are either pouring into you or pulling from you. They are either strengthening your faith or feeding your doubts. They are either pushing you toward destiny or keeping you bound by history. Who you walk with matters. You can't afford to be connected to people who drain your energy, weaken your spirit, or distract you from your calling. If you want to go higher, you need people who lift, not people who lean. Some of you are struggling not because you're weak, but because you're surrounded by the wrong people. You're carrying weights that were never meant for you. You're listening to voices that don't speak life. You're keeping company with people who celebrate your comfort zone instead of challenging your growth. But hear me. You cannot soar like an eagle if you keep running with chickens. You have to disconnect from anything and anyone that keeps you from stepping into who you were created to be. Look around you. Who is in your circle? Are they feeding your faith or are they fueling your fear? Are they pushing you to become better or are they keeping you stuck in cycles? Some connections were only meant for a season, but you're trying to carry them into a lifetime. Some relationships were good for where you were, but they can't go where you're going. It's not personal, it's purpose. Stop feeling guilty for outgrowing places you were never meant to stay. Your strength is tied to your connections. When you surround yourself with people who believe in you, who pray for you, who call out the greatness in you, something shifts. You start thinking bigger, dreaming bigger, moving with confidence. You need people in your life who remind you who you are when you forget. People who won't let you settle. People who challenge you, stretch you, and sharpen you. Because iron sharpens iron. And destiny is too heavy to carry alone. So be intentional about your circle. If you want to grow, connect with people who challenge you. If you want to win, walk with people who know how to fight. If you want to fulfill your purpose, stay linked to those who inspire, uplift, and strengthen you. Your circle determines your strength. So make sure you're connected to power. Feelings will lie to you. One moment you're confident, the next you're doubting everything. One day you're full of hope, the next you're questioning if you even have a purpose. Feelings change with the wind, but faith stands firm. You can't build your life on what you feel because feelings will tell you to quit when you need to push through. Feelings will tell you to be afraid when God is calling you to be bold. Feelings will convince you that the storm will never pass when God has already promised that victory is yours. Faith is what moves mountains, not emotions. Faith is what brings breakthrough, not how you feel in the moment. You may not feel like praying, but pray anyway. You may not feel like believing, but believe anyway. You may not feel like pushing forward, but push anyway, because faith is not about feelings, it's about obedience. And obedience unlocks blessings that emotions will never get you to. If you only move when you feel like it, you will never see the fullness of what God has for you. Your feelings may say, I can't do this, but faith says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Your feelings may say, it's too late, but faith says God's timing is perfect. Your feelings may say, I'm alone in this, but faith says he will never leave me nor forsake me. You have to train yourself to stop letting emotions be the driver and put faith back in the driver's seat. Because when faith is leading, your future is secure, even when your feelings try to convince you otherwise. The enemy loves to play with emotions because he knows if he can get you caught up in feelings, he can keep you from walking in faith. He will stir up fear, stir up discouragement, stir up frustration to make you stop short of your breakthrough. But you have to stand firm and declare, I will not be moved by what I feel. I will stand on what I know. And what you know is that God is faithful. What you know is that he is working all things together for your good. What you know is that faith will take you places your feelings never could. So today, make a decision. Move by faith, not by feelings. Get up and keep going, even if you don't feel like it. Speak life, even when emotions tell you to stay silent. Trust God, even when you don't see the full picture, because your breakthrough is not on the other side of your feelings. Hard work is necessary, but hustle alone won't open doors that only God can unlock. Too many people grind with anxiety instead of grinding with grace. They think if they just push harder, stress more, and exhaust themselves, everything will fall into place. But hear me, favor can do what force never could. You don't have to break yourself trying to make something happen before it's time. Work hard, yes, but don't work from a place of fear. Work from a place of faith, knowing that what's meant for you will never miss you. Some of you are frustrated because you've been grinding, but you haven't seen the results. You're doing all the right things, but the doors haven't opened yet. Let me tell you, just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it won't. A delay is not a denial. There is a season for sowing and a season for reaping, and you cannot rush the process. When a seed is in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you nurture it, and you trust that at the right time it will break through the soil. Your breakthrough is growing beneath the surface of keep working, keep believing, but don't forget to trust in God's timing. Rest is not weakness, it's wisdom. Some of you are running on empty, trying to prove yourself, trying to force opportunities, trying to control what is not yours to control. But when you grind with grace, you understand that rest is part of the process. God gives strength to those who wait on him, not to those who burn themselves out trying to make things happen on their own. You don't have to wear yourself down chasing something that was already written for you before you were born. Trust that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. There is a difference between striving and stewarding. Striving is when you try to force things in your own strength. Stewarding is when you manage what God has given you while trusting him for what's next. When you grind with grace, you stop striving for approval, for validation, for success on the world's timeline. Instead, you show up every day, you do your part, you give your best, and you let God handle the rest. You stop worrying about when it will happen and start focusing on who you are becoming in the process. So keep working, but don't work in fear, work in faith. Keep pushing, but don't push in desperation. Push in purpose. Keep grinding, but don't grind with anxiety. Grind with grace. Because what's for you is already written, and it will come not a moment too soon or a second too late. Keep sowing, keep believing, and trust that in due season, you will reap. Before you even open your eyes in the morning, God has already gone before you. Before you step into that meeting, before you face that challenge, before you fight that battle, he has already made a way. Nothing you face today is a surprise to him. He is not scrambling to figure things out. He has already written the outcome. While you are wondering how it's going to work out, God is saying, I've already handled it. Some of you are carrying stress that was never yours to carry. You're losing sleep over things God has already worked out. You're worrying about doors that are already open, about battles that are already won. But hear me, your future is not unknown. It is secured in his hands. He goes before you to prepare the path, to remove obstacles, to set divine appointments in motion. So stop letting fear drive you. God is already there, working everything together for your good. When Israel stood before the Red Sea, they didn't see a way out, but God had already prepared a path through it. When Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, he didn't see a way of escape, but God had already shut the lions' mouths. When Jesus was laid in the tomb, it looked like the end, but God had already scheduled a resurrection. What looks impossible to you is already finished in God's plan. Just because you can't see the way doesn't mean there isn't one. He goes before you to make the crooked path straight. You don't have to live in fear of what's ahead because God is already there. He is in your tomorrow, lining up the right people, arranging the right opportunities, shifting things in your favor. You may not know how everything will unfold, but you don't have to. Your job is not to figure it all out. Your job is to trust the one who already has. He has never failed you, and he won't start now. So walk in confidence today. Walk in peace. Walk in expectation. You are not stepping into an unknown future. You are stepping into a plan that has already been written by the one who holds all power. No matter what comes against you, no matter what challenges arise, you can stand firm knowing this. God goes before you, and victory is already yours. Thanks for watching.